with Rich Anderson, class of 1972. Rich, you were on the very first Jefferson football team. What was it like transitioning to a brand new school, brand new high school in this building at the time?
When I was a sophomore, I went to Lincoln and got bused to Lincoln. But I walked through, I went to Westwood Elementary and walked to Olson and then walked to here. So I think we had over 120 some kids, some guys when they first came out at Jefferson, and it got cleared out pretty fast from all the running and this and that. So yeah, everything was brand new. The helmets, the pads. I think the quarterback club provided shoes and mouthpieces and all that kind of stuff. So like everything was new. The field wasn't really good. We tried the direct field back here is where we practiced and stuff, and they laid sod, and the sod didn't last very long, and there was rocks in the fields and all that stuff, and so every time to start a practice, we'd haul up all the pads and pick rocks and throw them off the field. But yeah, it was very, very intimidating with some of the coaching staff. Pat Wallner, he was a very strict but fair coach. So I ran into Stan. He was our offensive coordinator. Stan Shea was, and we've been in touch over the years with the golf and this and that. So got a lot of memories.
That first season, Jefferson started out on a great note, right, with a bunch of wins right out of the gate. How did it feel being a part of a brand new school? And I think you won like the first 5 or 6 games.
Yes, I think we ended up when I was a sophomore 6-3, and I got a lot of playing time. I was tight end, defensive end, and special teams, and we had a lot of guys that went to Kennedy and then Lincoln, and we all meshed together. We knew a lot of each other from BA baseball or football or whatever, and so we weren't total strangers. But we had big rivalries with Kennedy and Lincoln. Those were must-wins, and both my sophomore and senior year, we won those. So yeah, we had a good squad.
How do you think that having BAA helped? BAA was kind of still in its infancy back then. Sure. I think it was about 10 years, maybe 15 years old at that time. Yeah. But just to have played with some of those kids that you eventually would be on the same team with here, do you think that helped the team kind of gel together quickly? And as you said, you got a good number of wins in that first year.
BAA baseball, for example, is regional, and when our teams were developed and such. But we got into playoffs, and I remember we played a team from the Kennedy era, and Bob Tuma, Kennedy's quarterback, he was, I knew him from baseball, so that kind of thing, and churches, this, that. So we knew a lot of them. But we meshed pretty fast, though. Didn't have time to even think about rivalries and stuff, because we were probably one of the best teams in the Lake Conference, being in shape. I mean, we were strong and in great shape. We ran our butts off. So. Hamburger drills and this and that, so we didn't have time for those kind of rallies. But it was all fun, really fun.
Coach Waldner and Coach Shea were really two different people
Oh, yeah.
in terms of their styles, but do you think their styles kind of complemented each other and that was for the greater good of those early teams?
They were both really, really good men, honest men and fair men. And Coach Waldner, his persona, just looking at him, talking to him, and the way he walked, had a generalship, probably would be the best word. But he took care of us. I remember our lunch wasn't, we never had hot food to begin with. The kitchen wasn't done yet. So on Friday game day, we wore our jerseys and we all walked together over to Olson and had a hot meal on Fridays. So that was, and that, all the kids were super impressed. But we walked in there with our jerseys on and our numbers, and so he took care of us best he could. Stan, I've known over the years. I've been graduated a long time, and through the Jefferson football golf. Once he started that up, I started playing on that, and with my brother, who's younger than I am, also played football here. And so we always get a team together and play in the golf tournament thing. But I think I'm the oldest player that plays golf. I don't know what happened to the rest of them, but but yeah, we had some good guys.
So interesting that you were able to walk over to Olson to eat a hot lunch before games because the cafeteria wasn't done. Was that special just for the football team?
Yes, that's all I know, but it was special for us. We even started doing it when I was a senior, and the kitchen was done, because the impression that we made with the younger kids, the 9th, 8th grade football players. So, yeah, it was fun.
Why do you think you continued to do that even though you had a perfectly good cafeteria at that time when you were seniors? Was a part of it, do you think, maybe superstition or tradition to continue to do that? Like, hey, we've had some good results here, let's,
I think it was tradition, start traditions, because everything we did was start of a tradition. So, yeah, I think that's what it was.
What do you think your team's legacy is to be? You were on the first Jefferson team, but those early years, how do you think those teams kind of paved the way for the success of Jefferson football throughout the 80s and 90s and even today's Jaguar teams?
Well, when we were growing up, it was, we had a lot of good football players that came just from my neighborhood. You talked to Craig Knudsen, he just lived two houses down. And there's Pat Jones lived just a block over. Started as a senior, he started as a corner. And then Doug Hookstein, excellent football player. He's 2 years younger than I am, but he just lived our backyards together. John Mortensen was a defensive back. He was a year older than I was, but he was a starting back. So as young kids and stuff, when we were growing up, there was a lot of competition, even in backyards and all the different sports. And Hookstein played hockey. I played varsity basketball. So we had a lot of good athletes, a lot of competition, and we just kind of continued on. And everybody's strive was to start, not just play, but start. And once you got that position, you wouldn't let go of it. And so we started having some success, and we blew some teams' doors off and won some squeakers. But we did a good job, so. Those are good teams. Lots of buddies growing up.